What's up, YouTube? It's RK Motorsports back here with another video. I just want to make the quick update video on the upgraded Hover Hearts mini bike, what I did to it, how I got to this point, and what did it take to get to this point. So if you guys saw my last video, this was the original Hover Hearts mini bike that I received. This has the 99cc motor in it. You can see how tiny that motor is. And this one is all completely stock. Fenders, headlight, wheel, everything is completely stock. There's nothing done to this bike. So I ended up actually buying another Hover Hearts mini bike. Same bike, but it was actually army green. So I'll post a picture in right about here. Of what this bike originally looked like. But after riding it around the way it was, doing some small modifications here and there, I ended up taking it all down and doing a full out build from the ground up. So I'll start with the mods that I did first. When the bike was still stock, I ended up getting this suspension fork for it. That's actually the FRP suspension fork, so it doesn't fit this bike. Now, a lot of what I'm going to talk about does not fit this bike. For some reason, the Hover Hearts bike is specifically Hover Hearts parts only, and a lot of other mini bike parts do not fit this bike like you would expect them to. I know even FRP has a lot of aftermarket parts that fit those bikes, and for some reason the Hover Hearts mini bikes do not have pretty much any aftermarket parts that fit these bikes. I think for the stock motor, you can upgrade it with like maybe an exhaust and a cheap carburetor, but that's only going to get you a little bit of extra power. And you know, I'm an adult, so I wanted to be able to move pretty fast on this thing. So I actually ended up giving that one to my wife, so we can have some fun in the summertime together. And this one is the one that I did for myself. So again, I started with the army green one. One of the first things I did was I stripped the fenders off of it, and I got rid of all the bracketry on the frame for the fenders. And the first actual modification I did, like I was just talking about, was the suspension fork. That's the FRP fork, but again, they don't fit this bike. So the first modification that I had to do was I had to trim all of this up. It comes with these extra brackets on it, which are unneeded for this bike. And another thing I had to do was I actually had to drill out the top and the bottom plate to be able to fit the headset bolt that runs through there, because I'm guessing the bolt on the FRP is a smaller bolt size and a smaller bearing size, whereas this is actually a pretty good bearing size, and it's a pretty big bolt size, so it's nice and it is stronger. So I do like that about it, although I did have to drill it out. I didn't finish any of this stuff up yet. I did grind it, I did clean it all up. The only thing I did do is I did that a while ago, so I didn't put any black paint on it yet. So as soon as I get some black paint, I'll just be taking those two plates back off, and I'm just going to paint those black again. The only thing I did was I did leave the fender mounts on the front, because I might end up running a front fender at some point. So these are the PPR pit bike risers. And here we go again with having to drill the forks out. So you wouldn't have to drill the forks out to fit these handlebar, or to fit the stock handlebar. These are Pro Taper 50 bars, so they're Honda 50 bars. Pro Taper makes them. They're the Pro Taper Mini Racer, and they are the, I believe they're Honda XR or Honda CRF 50 bars. But I like them because you can see how this is a little bit different here, the center of it, how it mounts. They're more set up like a BMX style bar, so the, you know, a BMX stem is a lot smaller than this. Whereas when you're talking mini bikes, the bottom of the bars are a lot wider, so you're able to fit those normal mini bike risers on it. Whereas I was going to run the pit bike risers with the pit bike bars, so I had to drill these 2 holes in closer to be able to fit these bars, because I didn't want to run the stock bars. So here's what it would look like, how it's a little bit wider down here. These are the stock hover hearts, and this is the PPR pit bike risers with the Pro Taper 50 bars. So the only thing that I was having a problem with, is you can even see, because when I originally put it back together, I didn't do any of this yet, and I ended up scraping up the bottom of the frame with the nuts when they're flipped around. It's really hard to tighten them up. So what I ended up doing is I ended up flipping the bolt completely upside down. I put the bolt in through the bottom, I put the nut on the top. It's a lot easier to tighten that way. You don't have a lot of extra bolt hanging out. Actually, you don't really have any extra bolt hanging out, so it doesn't look bad, but it just helps it a little bit better, because the head of the bolt is smaller than the nut size, so it will not rub on the frame. Other than that, up here, you can see there's the stock headlight. The stock headlight on the Hover Hearts bike is actually a really good headlight, so that's really pretty cool. I had to run the stock brake because I bought a hydraulic brake for it, but the hydraulic brake, again, these universal mini bike parts do not fit the Hover Hearts bike. The way the bracket is set up on the Hover Hearts bike, it makes the brake angled a different way, whereas when you get the universal hydraulic mini bike brake, it's angled a different way, and they seem to all be angled that way. So it's just whoever makes the Hover Hearts bikes, they make them specifically only to fit Hover Hearts type parts, and they make them very, very hard to upgrade. So if you want to be able to upgrade this bike, you have to be able to put you have to be able to know what you're doing, use some tools, because chances are you're going to be cutting, you're going to be drilling, you're going to have to make some stuff work. So I will put the hydraulic brake on, because I did get a red brake with a really cool steel braided red brake line that goes with the rest of it. So I will put that on, but at the moment I did not feel like making a new bracket and all that stuff, so I just left the cable brake on for right now. It works completely fine. This Hover Hearts mini bike did not come with a seat, so one of the first things I had to do was I had to buy a seat for it. So I know I'm all over the place right now. I'm kind of just filming what pops in my head at the moment and what parts, because again, I changed everything on this bike except for pretty much the wheels and tires and the frame. So yeah, I guess next we will go to the tires. We'll talk about the tires. They are stock Hover Hearts mini bike tires. I really do like them. They're pretty cool tires. They get a lot of grip, and they've lasted a pretty long time right now, so I don't really have any reason to change them. I like them. They fit the bike. So I guess we'll go to the next thing is that I did the famous Predator 212 motor swap that a lot of people do on the mini bikes. Again, Hover Hearts makes it very hard to be able to fit this motor in here. You can see how tiny this other motor is that comes on it, and the way that it's bolted on to the frame there. So the Hover Hearts mini bike is meant to fit the Hover Hearts parts. So when I went to go put the 212cc motor on there, the bolts did not line up because they were too narrow. The holes on the bottom of the engine compared to the holes that are on the bottom of the or that are on the plate of the frame are completely different. It's meant to fit a smaller engine, not a bigger engine. They do sell the universal mounting plates, but again, the universal mounting plate that I got was meant for like a Coleman, I think it was like a Coleman 100 or something like that. It was one of the smaller Coleman bikes, so I was, this looks very similar to a Coleman bike, so I was like, okay, that should fit no problem. While the way the offset of the bolts from the stock motor on this bike are so different that it doesn't even fit, and you would have to drill new holes anyway, because then the offset of the motor would be so far off, you'd have to drill new holes anyway to be able to get that that mounting plate for this motor on the bike. Whereas if I was going to drill holes anyway, what I decided to do is not even use the universal mounting plate, and I actually just drilled new holes to fit this motor. So it's hard to see, you really can't see it at all with the motor in the way, but I did drill new holes in the frame itself to be able to fit the Predator 212 motor. Now, from what I'm understanding, I believe this is the Predator 212 Hemi engine, so it's a little bit newer, it's a little bit different. It has a different tank on it, whereas the gas cap is right under the frame here, which you can get that open. So if you twist this and kind of move it off to the side a little bit, you can get the gas tank open enough to get gas in there. I know the normal Predator 212 has the gas cap that is right here. So if you do get the normal Predator 212, drill your holes, mount this motor on this frame, you'll be completely fine. The other one, it's a black tank, but it has a chrome gas cap on it, and it's right here for just the standard 212. The 212 Hemi has this gas tank on it, whereas the gas cap is under the frame, so it's a little harder to get to, but it is still usable. You can fill it. Now, you can fill it without the universal mounting bracket on the motor here, or on the frame of the bike that connects to the motor here. If I were to drill the other holes and run the universal mounting bracket for this engine here, I would not be able to fit this motor, because it would jack it up probably about 1/2 inch, and that 1/2 inch, as you can see, would be right here. So that was another reason why I decided just to drill holes, new holes completely, and set it up for this motor, and pretty much this motor only. So on to the next thing, I ended up doing the carburetor. So on the carburetor, I think it's just a P22 or something like that. It's a 22 millimeter carburetor on Amazon. All these parts are on Amazon, so if you guys have any questions, just leave me a comment. I'll send you a link to the parts that I got for this bike. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm not going to put it in the description just because it'd be a lot of parts. But I ended up getting this carburetor kit. It comes with the 22 millimeter carburetor. It comes with the extension piece here to extend it away from the frame. You wouldn't be able to run it. If you didn't have this piece, you can't run that carburetor because it would actually hit the frame of this mini bike because this frame is so small. So this brings it out just a little bit. It's a slide carburetor, so it's more set up. It's pretty much set up just like a pit bike. It's set up just like a dirt bike. It comes with a filter, comes with the spacer, comes with the carburetor, all the gaskets you're going to need, all the bolts you're going to need, and it comes with a new cable all the way up to the throttle housing here, or the cable housing, and a new throttle there. Does not come with it actually does come with grips, but they're just black grips. I wanted to run red on this, so yeah, I guess on to the exhaust, which is next. So now here's the exhaust. I just put this exhaust on. This is a cheap $20 Amazon exhaust, so you can see it's actually starting to the coating's kind of starting to chip off of it, but it doesn't rub on the frame or anything. And it's a small little muffler on the end, and it has this nice little heat guard on it, which is pretty cool. It just folds around the back. It looks really pretty cool from behind. It just shoots it right off to the side there. It looks awesome. So again, just a cheap little muffler. Now the reason why I did this, the reason why I changed all this stuff, is because, just a heads up, with the stock Predator 212 motor, you cannot run the factory exhaust, and you cannot run the factory carburetor on this bike. It's too bulky. It'll hit the frame. It'll make it very hard when it comes down to the mounting of the engine. So in my case, and the way that I mounted the engine on this bike, I had to use an aftermarket carburetor, and I had to use an aftermarket exhaust, which I wanted to do anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Now, another thing that I did was I opted in for a 42 sprocket. I upped the chain size to a 420. The chain size, here you can see on the stock bike how small that chain is. It's pretty much just a bicycle chain, and I'm pretty sure it comes with a 52 sprocket on it. The only thing that I bought for this bike that pretty much bolted right on was actually that sprocket. So I guess it just has pretty much universal wheels and tires on this. The bracket for the sprocket is already on the wheel itself, so it's just a universal wheel. It fits the mini bike, just a universal mini bike sprocket, as long as it has those 6-bolt pattern. It should fit right on. Again, I went in for the 420 chain, so you can see how much thicker this chain is. I went with the red chain, but when you're going with the 420 chain, you have to go with a 420 sprocket, and you have to go with a 420 sprocket on the clutch as well. You can't do you can't run a 420 chain with one of the smaller size sprockets like that. You'll shred the sprocket up. It won't stay on. It's not the right way to do it. So you should change everything. So yeah, went with the 420 red chain. Now another thing is, on the Hover Hearts mini bike, I can't show you on that mini bike because the chain guard is still on. The chain tensioner on the bike, on the stock motor, is one of those chain tensioners that bolts into the engine, has a spring on it, has another bracket, and it keeps this chain nice and tight while you're riding. Unfortunately, Predator 212 engine does not allow you to do that. So you either need the chain, cut your chain completely perfect, so that way it fits on there with enough slack, and it's not too tight and it's not too loose, or you should buy a universal chain tensioner, which I'm going to end up doing. Just for right now, I wanted to have some fun with this bike in the snow and things like that. So I just cut the chain right. I have a chain breaker. I was able to cut the chain the correct way, add a master link onto it, and I was able to get the perfect tension on it. So, but I don't recommend that. I do recommend running a chain tensioner. It helps keep your chain in line, helps keep it just the right tension all the time, and you don't have to worry about it stretching or anything like that. As far as the clutch goes, I just ran I just went on Amazon. The Predator 212 doesn't come with a clutch, so I went on Amazon, and I believe this is a 10-tooth sprocket up here. I think that's right. I think it's a 10-40 gear ratio that I'm running. So again, I just went on Amazon, just looked up Predator 212 clutch, centrifugal clutch, and this is the one that I got. So if you guys want to know the clutch that I bought, just let me know. Leave a comment in the video. I'd be glad to leave the description or leave a link to the clutch that I bought, or any parts that I bought on this bike. Other than that, I mean, the kill switch I left completely the same. That works completely fine. You just wire it up to the engine right from the way the stock kill switch is. And other than that, I mean, that's pretty much just about it. The bike looks completely awesome. It rides insane. It's super fast. It's super enjoyable to ride. And you can kind of see them side by side here. What it looks like, you can see how much smaller this engine is here compared to that engine. And the upgrades on the Predator 212 is insane. I mean, you can get so many parts for these Predator motors. Another cool touch that I added is I just took the Predator engines sticker here. I just neatly took it off of the gas tank. It was right here. I just took it off there, put it on the head tube there. I thought that looked really pretty cool. Other than that, yeah, it's the mini bike's done. I just have to do that chain tensioner on the other side, but other than that, it's all done. So I'll just do a quick walk around of this, and then I'll do a quick walk around of the stock one, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions on this build or how I did it, or anything like that, or want to see a ride video of it or anything, let me know. Another thing while I'm doing this walk around that I should add is that the stock Hover Hearts mini bike with the top speed with the governor removed on the Hover Hearts mini bike is approximately about 30 to 34 miles an hour. The Predator 212, with just the mods that I did to it, That's not even removing the governor. That's not even doing anything crazy. The stock Predator 212 goes up to 42 miles an hour right now. And that's, again, that's without doing any kind of crazy work to it. So you can completely see, you know, a total difference in torque. You could see a total difference in top speed and just overall power from the Predator 212 completely. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool little bike, and hope you guys enjoyed this video.